Internet, Eric here, back again to dive into the Phantasm franchise. Some interesting opinions and comments concerning whether I thought the original Phantasm was worth the hype. Um, it is what it is. I said what I said, and I'm not going to change it. However, today we're going to, what I did say at the end of that video though is how they ended that movie. It really got me interested in what the sequel was going to do. So today I'm going to discuss Phantasm II. And as I've said, I have not seen a single Phantasm movie. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. It's 1988 when this came out. Plot of this is, it's now, I don't know how many, handful of years later, after Phantasm ended. One of the things I didn't like about the original Phantasm was you found out Jodie died in a car wreck. I still hate that, but it's years later, and now Mike is now getting out of a psych ward due to what happened, that night. Everything that happened in the first movie. He and Reggie are now going from town to town, city to city, trying to find the tall man to destroy him for their own reasons. I'll get into that. And along the way, they meet a girl who has a psychic link to Mike. And she eventually joins the team, and she herself wants to help stop the tall man. I did not think Phantasm was worth the hype. I thought it was okay. Phantasm 2, this is how you fucking do a Phantasm movie. The reason why I'm saying is, this movie started out fucking great. First off, before I get to specific scenes, let's talk about the characters. We have a new actor playing Mike. He's fine. He had good chemistry with Reggie, good chemistry with whoever this chick is. Likeable character. You believed how determined he was after getting out of that psych ward and wanting to stop the tall man. So I like that actor. Reggie, he's the dude I couldn't remember last time. The Ice Cream Man, played by Reggie Bannister. This dude is fucking awesome in this movie. He didn't have much to do, in my opinion, in the first one, but he was likable. He is so fucking cool in this one. He is badass. He is funny. He is likable. I loved him in this. He gets a lot of action. They actually give him something to do. The first time we see him, this is a specific scene I was going to get with, is it starts with the end of part 1. Mike is pulled into the mirror by the tall man. And then he's thrown out, and you got the little Jawa creatures, which I'm now going to, thanks to Triv from our last Deadly Venom stream, it was either Triv or it was Coriander. They called them the Dinks from from fucking Spaceballs. That's what I'm going to call them from now on. He escapes, or he's thrown out of the mirror by the Dinks. They're trying to take him away. Reggie hears what's going on upstairs, and then he has to rescue Mike from the fucking Dinks. And it's a great scene. He's taking them out with baseball bats. We get to see what these creatures look like. And they look like cheap Halloween masks, but they do look horrifying at times because there's a lot of them in that kitchen. And they're coming after Reggie. And eventually, he blows up the fucking house to get rid of them. Awesome scene. And again, he's got a lot of quips. He's got great chemistry. Reggie is the star of this movie, in my opinion. We're following Mike for the most of it because of what happened with part 1. He's great. Reggie is Reggie Bannister. This chick here, don't know her character name, don't remember. She was alright. She was basically, for the most part, a damsel in distress. There's a couple scenes where it's sweet, where her and Mike are falling in love, and there's a scene with her and her dead grandfather and her grandmother. It's okay. She's just there. The tall man. Scarier in this movie because they give him more to do. He's not just there yelling, boy. He's not just lifting up caskets and that's it. He's got much more dialogue, which is cool because Angus Scrimm has a creepy voice to go with that creepy fucking face. Doesn't really run after them as much, but he's good at a lot of jump scares, crashing through windows. I think there's something, I think one of them say, I think it's over, and then they open the door and he's like, wrong, or something like that. Very intimidating, very scary. Liked him a lot more in this. I forgot to mention the score in the last movie. The score is great there, really good here. There's only one more character in this movie that's worth knowing. They pick up a hitchhiker who Mike had a dream about, and she died, and then, you know, a long story. He can dream of the future or some bullshit. Um, her and Reggie kind of have like a fling going on. She's likable for the most part. You kind of know something's going to happen. You know how these characters turn out. But her most memorable scene is obviously her sex scene with Reggie. And here's the reason why. It's not overly graphic. It's not romantic. It's just fucking goofy. She's sitting on him. She's got no pants on. She's wearing underwear. She's got no top on. So she's grinding them like they are having sex. But they're not, because obviously I think he's still got his pants on. And she just like has a thing, because Reggie's bald. He's got like a skullet, you know, like Paul Heyman. And a lot of, when she's just not getting ready to have actual sex, she's just like slapping him on the top of the head. It's goofy. And then she pushes him down on the bed, and then she's kind of riding him and going Yahoo and stuff like that. It's weird, it's awkward. It kind of reminded me, if you've ever seen Hot Shots Part 2, when Charlie Sheen is banging the blonde and she jumps off the high dive, and then she starts singing Yippee-Ki-Yay, and she's got guns and stuff like that. It's goofy, it's funny, but she doesn't really do too much. Overall, the characters are good. Like I said in the last one, characters are good. One thing I forgot in the last video was to mention the spheres, the killer balls, whatever you want to fucking call them, because they were in 2 fucking scenes in the last movie, and they didn't really fucking do anything other than kill one guy, and then they got blown away in the next scene. Total upgrade in this one. We got the regular white spheres attached to their head with the hooks, blood and or goo, depending on who it hits, comes out. And then now we have gold ones. Gold ones, which will still attach to your head. They have blades on the side, so they cut off a dude's ear. And then they have fucking lasers. You know, they search you out with a tractor beam, and they can shoot fucking lasers. Major upgrade, totally bonkers. I fucking loved it. The gore, we've upped the gore in this, in my opinion. People get set on fire. We have, oh Jesus Christ, we have, like I said, a person gets their ear chopped off due to one of the spheres. We have a person, part of their scalp falls off. And then let's just talk about, Jesus Christ, let's talk about how they kill, air quotes, a tall man. This is part 2 of fucking 5. You know he's not dead, all right? Sorry. Last movie, I'm assuming you've seen the first movie if you're watching a review for Phantasm II. Last movie, they defeated him by tricking him and having him fall down a mine shaft and crushed with a bunch of boulders. Lame as fuck. This one, again, what makes Reggie so cool, and Mike in this, they're doing fucking booby traps. They've got weapons up the ass, grenades, guns, knives, fucking flamethrowers, and then they defeat him by filling some embalming fluid with, I think it's hydrochloric acid. Either way, that gets shoved into the tall man, and he just fucking melts. His skin melts away. He's got, like, I'm colorblind, I think it's yellow goo for blood. His face melts, his arm melts. Shit happens. It's fucking gross. It's fucking awesome to watch. And then, because we still have to have some mind fuck in this, because how part 1 was, Reggie is trying to fight the tall man. It's either Reggie or Mike, while he's melting. And just because some fucking horned tentacle pops out of the tall man's head to try to attack him, it get ripped off. Because why not? There's still some weird shit in this movie. Eventually, Reggie and Mike get sucked into the new dimension. I think eventually it gets called like the Red Planet or something like that. And we get to finally see one of the dinks being born. You know what I mean? Because they're robbing graves, taking the dead bodies, shrinking them into the dinks, and selling them for slavery. Well, we get to see one of them being born, and it's just fucking weird for fucking weird's sake. Mike and Reggie are being sucked in. They're trying to climb back because like the gravity's sucking them in, so they're trying to slowly climb back into our reality as a dink's being born, and it's slowly climbing towards either who's at the end, Mike or Reggie. And if you've ever seen Wishmaster, it looked like the fucking djinn after it was born. You know, you take the djinn and you kind of just squish him like that. That's what it looked like to me, you know, when Vern Troyer played him. Weird shit, but great imagery. You can tell the budget is much, much higher. more weird shit. They're searching for the girl before they find her. They think they find her in one place. She's kidnapped, and then suddenly some fucking weird Quado looking thing pops out of her back, and they set it on fire, and it's just fucking weird and bonkers and amazing. And I like it because now I knew what I was getting into. Because I think from the Night Watch, he kind of compared the first one to a fever dream, and it was. Now that I know what I was getting into, I really like this. I don't know if I went back, if I would go back to the first one, I'd like it more. This one was a lot of fun. And then, of course, like the first one, it fucking ends on a goddamn cliffhanger and makes you want to watch part 3. So, with that, great acting, likable characters, scary tall man, upgrading Gore. He's got sidekicks now, doing his bidding. They get fucked up big time. So great Gore, great score, fun, grossness, fever dream stuff that isn't, confusing as hell. And then that ending where you're just like, God damn it, now I gotta watch part 3. So that's good. Don Coscarelli upgraded big time with Phantasm II. Highly recommend this. Even if you didn't like Phantasm, and like I said, people might have gotten confused and think I was dissing it or shitting out it or whatever. I just didn't think it was worth the hype. This is fantastic. Loved it. Lots of fun. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Comment below. All this, the spiel. Tell me if you think Phantasm 2 is better than Phantasm 1. Tell me if you think I'm full of shit. Tell me if you have no reason to watch part 2 because you hated part 1. Doesn't matter. Like and subscribe. Click the bell. I'll be back with part 3 soon. Be safe. I got some things planned for 4th of July week, not just the weekend. Rambling. You know the drill. Cheers. I'm out.